everyone. Today we are here at one of our rehab projects, and I am going to go through this entire project, and I'm going to highlight some of the things that you can still accomplish in Orlando by buying a home for 200 to 250,000, spending 120 to 125,000, and have a home that is completely remodeled with everything brand new: plumbing, electrical, AC, ductwork, roof, for under $350,000, which could potentially rent for $2,500 to $2,800. Now, what is one of the things that I would say is that in most cases, someone who are buying a home in Orlando could potentially buy a home very similar to this that has none of these upgrades and will pay in excessive of $350,000 to $400,000. Now, I am going to go through with you step by step all of the things that we have done to this home and we still have to be completed. They'll all be done individually, so we'll do plumbing, electrical separate, and then the AC. For now, what we'll do, take a look at the exterior of the home, and I will show you all of the things that we have done thus far and the things that we still have to do to make this one of the best homes you can buy in Orlando after it's completely remodeled. Now, keep in mind, 100% of all the work in this home is done by code, meaning that we have pulled all the appropriate permits to make sure that it is done correctly. You will see here, when we originally purchased this home, the homeowner probably had an illegal garage done at some point in the past. We don't know the timelines, but there were some stucco work, as you can see, some of the stucco material that is on the ground that we have removed. You will clearly see that this was one time a porch. So you can see that the metal frame is still there from the porch, and they have illegally construct or closed this porch by, now you can see the framing that they have done. Now, none of that is up to code, so we have to remove all of that and then replace them. What we have done thus far in the front here, we have removed all of the work that they have done here, and we have put up the concrete block with steel inside, and then we will cast these posts to make sure that they are done with solid concrete, and then we will reframe the top of the garage. All of the windows in the home was changed. We have replaced all the windows and doors. Now, this home was built in 1975. We have also replaced the roof. We have also relocated the electrical system. Now, one of the things that you will find in most of these older homes, when they were originally built, they were built with a capacity for 150 amp. What that simply means that if you have a meter box in the exterior or the interior, you can't put more than 150 amp in terms of breakers in the panel. Now, with most homes and newer homes today, when they're remodeled, the code requires a panel box of 200 amp minimum. So we have replaced the exterior panel and the interior panel and the entire electrical system. But we'll go through the electrical system after we are finished with the exterior. This was a porch that was at some point was done by the homeowner, but initially when they did this porch, what they have done is that they have poured a 4.5-inch concrete, but it had no footers. So what we had to come in and do, we had to remove the dirt from the back of it, and then we purchase material steel footers. Now you will see that tubing on the ground. We have actually dug every 6 foot on this porch and add 2 feet of poured concrete. So in the event we chose to enclose this in the future, we will have solid footer. Now we have also put this little wall up that if we chose to enclose it in the future, every 6 foot where those solid footers were entered or poured, we have actually put steel in there. So if you put a roof on it, you will have no problem with the foundation. Now also, if you notice, there was some concrete block work done. This was actually a part of the original dining room with a sliding door coming out from the home. We have actually decided to turn that into a bedroom. So what we have done in close it and add a window. And when we go into the home, you will see what are the things that we have done in the inside to make that functional. Now also, to be able to make this home a really nice house with a sliding door at the back of it, we have had to move 1 foot of concrete blocks from one side to the other side to be able to make an island that is functional in the home. A couple of things that you may want to look for as well when you're buying a home that is either being remodeled by someone prior to purchasing or hiring a contractor is that your laundry. A lot of times you get folks who are going into homes, replumb them, and do the original laundry system, but not replace everything. Now, when we come in these homes, we make sure that we replace them. And quite frankly, this is what you have to do to be able to have the vent for your dryer out and your water to go out and a hot and cold for your laundry room. Now, if you go into a home and you don't see this, it's probably not done to code. Do all the plumbing in the home. And one of the biggest things that you will find that you have major issues in these older homes when you buy an older home that is remodeled or an older home that has not been remodeled. Most of these homes are built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. They have cast iron pipe. Now, these cast iron pipe don't have any life expectancy left in them, and most of them are collapsing under the slab, and you will never know until it happens to you. Now, what we have done is that we have cut the slabs and we have replaced all the sewer lines in the entire home. As you can see where the new concrete is poured, those are all the new sewer lines which we have replaced that goes to the kitchen and then into the bathrooms and then out to the main sewer that goes out to the street. Now, a couple of things that you may want to look for as well when you're... Now, there are two ways that you could do a shower. If the shower is 6 inches below the slab, then you don't have to put the rubber mat. But if the shower is in par with the slab or a little above the slab, then this is something that is required by code. Now, a lot of people rehab houses and remodel houses, and they will not put this liner in. Why? Because they're saying, well, it is above ground, and if the water does leak, it goes just on the floor. Well, when you put this mat and you do your inspection, the inspector will come in and they will take that ball out that you have to, because you got to put water in there for them to see that it holds the water. And if the water drains out completely, then they know that you have the pitch and you have the float. Now, why this is important? It is important because when you put your sheetrock up to put your tile and complete the base of your shower, if this ever have a leak, there is no way water can ever get into your home because the liner protects that from happening. And the liner will keep the water in the tub, in the shower, and you never have to worry about it leaking into your home. Now, there are two ways that you could do a shower. If the shower is 6 inches below the slab, then you don't have to put the rubber mat. But if the shower is in par with the slab or a little above the slab, then this is something that is required by code. Now, a lot of people rehab houses and remodel houses, and they will not put this liner in. Why? Because they're saying, well, it is above ground, and if the water does leak, it goes just on the floor. Well, when you put this mat and you do your inspection, the inspector will come in and they will take that ball out that you have to, because you got to put water in there for them to see that it holds the water. And if the water drains out completely, then they know that you have the pitch and you have the float. Now, why this is important? It is important because when you put your sheetrock up to put your tile and complete the base of your shower, if this ever have a leak, there is no way water can ever get into your home because the liner protects that from happening. And the liner will keep the water in the tub, in the shower, and you never have to worry about it leaking into your home. Now, as you can see, on top of this wall right here, you can see there is some wood framing. That wood framing is not up to code. So we have to add 2x8s to that and then a hurricane trap to bring it to code before we finishing up the garage. Now we have also relocated the AC system, and we have put it into the garage because originally it was in the home. But with the new system that we have decided in the space that we have in a home, it was not enough space to be able to do the returns. And we'll talk about that before we go to plumbing and electrical, of the things that you have to do, or I suggest that you do, or if you're buying a home that is remodeled, or you are buying a home that you're hiring a contractor to remodel. These are some of the things that you may want to look at, because it's very important that you will find when these homes are remodeled that you may have issues if you don't do them correctly. Now, what do you notice here in the ceiling is that there are two boxes. One is the vent for the home, and the other is the return. Now, in most older houses that built in the 50s and 60s, what they have is what you call, an air conditioner in the home has one little area that you get the return of the air from the supply. Now, that is not very efficient in any home. When you are remodeling these homes and you do them to code, we do what you call jumpers. And these jumpers are set in the home where the air comes in from the air condition under one vent, and then it goes out, gets sucked out because hot air rises into these vents that you're looking at here, and then sucked into the unit. So you have a perfect airflow throughout the home. Now, how you know that you have jumpers in your home versus not? Now, a lot of builders or folks who are remodeling home, when they redo the air conditioning system, they will put those jumpers above the door. And when you see them above the door, now they are done to code over the door, but it doesn't give you that efficiency that you may require for your airflow. In all of our remodels as well, when we redo the electrical system, we make sure that we put can lights in all the open areas. We do not use the dome lights, or we do not even use lights in the burn. Now, this is an interior panel that you will find in your home when it's done by an electrician, that it is done by code. Now, if you have a home and you go into it and you're purchasing it and you don't see a 200 amp panel, that means they probably replaced the panel box and they did not replace the electrical system. Now, also to caution you that most homes that are built in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, they have what you call cloth wiring. And this is the reason why, because no longer you're able to get insurance with cloth wiring. And if you do, it's pretty expensive. Now, you also find that in the older homes, you have what you call a Federal Pacific breaker panel. Those panels, you don't get the breakers to purchase anymore, and if you do get them, they're very, very expensive. Now, insurance companies would not insure your home in most cases if you have that panel. And that's one of the main reasons why when these homes are purchased and they're older, you have to replace them with copper wiring. Then also the older homes, you do not have, in the older homes, you do not have smoke detector that are attached to the main panel. There are individual smoke detectors with just boxes. And batteries. Now, when you do these complete remodel, they're all tied into the electrical panel. So if one of these smoke detector doesn't work properly, it trips all of them, and it will make that beeping sound that you will know that you have a problem with one of them. Originally, when we purchased this home as well, you will notice that this was the original living room. This here was the dining room and some part of the kitchen. So what we have done is that we have came in and we have decided that for us to have a functional kitchen, we had to move this wall back, the sliding door, by 1 foot, to be able to have an island that you would be able to have 3 or 4 bar stools and still have a little open area before your laundry room. It will be an open concept where we have, you come into the home, you have the living area, and then you have your 4 bedrooms. Now we had to redo some of the framing in here as well because a lot of the woods were not done correctly or they were old. Now we have just finished insulating the entire home, and we would be starting to do drywall tomorrow. So the second part of this rehab project will be when the drywall is finished and is painted and we started the work on the finishes, interior doors, tile, bathrooms, and everything else. Now, one other thing that is important to look for too when you are either hiring someone to remodel your home or buying a home that is completely remodeled. When they're adding new windows, these windows have to be completely bulked, meaning that you have to use pressure treated wood for the side of the windows and then the face of the windows prior to putting insulation. Why? Because by doing that, it prevents the wood from rot, and you would not be able to pass inspection unless this is completed and the windows are screwed into those and to the concrete block with top corn screws. When this project is fully completed, this home will have everything included brand new, meaning air conditioning, AC, ductwork, kitchen, flooring, bathrooms, 100% drywall, insulation, and the total cost for what we have budgeted for this home will be about $310,000 to $320,000. Now let's be real. For someone to have a brand new 1,500 square foot home with a 2-car garage in Orlando, completely brand new with a roof, for $315,000 to $320,000, that worth $400,000 will give you steady income for the next 10 to 15 years without any major repairs, is a tremendous investment. Now, for you to be able to accomplish something like this, you have to be able to know the right individuals or hire the right people to be able to purchase this home for you, and also to be able to manage the rehab project to make sure that you're getting what you actually paid for. And when a home is completed in the manner that this will be completed, by far it will be greater than most of the rehabs that you will find. Not saying that we do the best rehabs, but we absolutely take pride in what we do, and we make sure that all our rehabs are done to code and follow the county guidelines.